Good morning, scholars, or good afternoon, or happy Monday. Today, for our first lesson, we're going to review powers of 10. Okay? Remember, we're going to be practicing multiplying and dividing by powers of 10. Okay? So if I have 10 to the third power, remember this is our base, 10, and this is our exponent. Okay? When we have 10 to the third power, that just means 10 times 10 times 10. Okay? If I had 10 to the sixth power, that would be 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. This exponent tells us how many times we're multiplying our base number. Now, when we have the base number 10, we get super excited because 10 is important for our place value. Okay? Every time we increase our place value by 1, we do times 10. That's why we can just focus on moving our decimal points. Okay? Because 10 is a pretty powerful number with our numbers. So, if I have 7 times 10 to the second power, that means 7 times 10 to the second power means 10 times 10, or 7 times 100, because 10 times 10 is 100. Then we can solve that easily by doing 7 times 1 is 7, okay? And adding our 2 zeros. So we can take a shortcut here, and we can focus on just our exponent and how many place values that's going to increase or decrease depending on if we're multiplying or dividing. So if I have 3 times 10 to the fourth power, I know my decimal point in a whole number is at the end. The 4 tells me I'm going to increase my place value 4 times. Okay, so I'm going to move it 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to put my decimal at the end and fill in the empty spots with my zeros. So 3 times 10 to the fourth power is 30,000. Okay, we can also divide by powers of 10. So if I have 400 divided by 10 to the second power, I'm going to move my decimal 2 times, okay, because my base is still that powerful 10. And this time, when I divide by a whole number, my answer isn't going to be bigger, it's going to be smaller. So I know my decimal's at the end, and I move it 2 times. So 400 divided by 10 to the second power is 4. Okay? We can also multiply and divide by powers of 10 with decimals. Okay? So when I multiply or divide with decimals, the concept is still the same. Our 10 is the base, our very powerful 10, which relates to our place value. Our exponent tells us how many times we're multiplying 10. And our sign tells us whether our answer is going to get bigger or smaller. So I have 7/10 times 10 to the second power. I'm multiplying by a whole, so my answer is going to be bigger. And I'm going to move my decimal 2 times. So I rewrite my number and move my decimal twice. And I plug everything else in with zeros. So we don't write numbers like this. Okay, we can forget that front 0. We also don't have to keep that decimal there unless we're going to add a 0 behind it. So 7/10 times 10 to the second power is 70. So I'll do another one for you. Let's say we have 34 and 21 hundredths times 10 to the third power. Our answer is going to be bigger because we're multiplying by a whole, and we're going to move our decimal point 3 times. Okay? I'm going to rewrite my number so I have space to work. And I'm going to move it 1, 2, 3. In this empty spot, I'm going to put my 0. So my answer is 34,210. So we see how powerful that base 10 in our exponent is because we started with about 34 and we're ending with about 34,000. So we see that our answer is much larger than our original number. So now let's review how we divide with powers of 10. Let's say I had 2 thousandths. We know that's a teeny tiny piece of a whole, and we're going to divide by 10 to the second power. When we divide, our answer is going to be smaller. Okay, so we're already starting with a pretty small number. We're going to divide to get to an even smaller number. So remember, our exponent's powerful. It's telling us how many place values we're moving because we're dividing by that base power of 10. This means I'm going to take 2 thousandths and move my decimal 2 times to the left. I'm going to fill in my other 0. I am going to add 1 before it because that's my placeholder saying there's no whole numbers. And there is my new teeny tiny answer. So let's do another one. Let's say we had 4,213. And we're going to divide by 10 to the third power. Okay? I know when I have a whole number, my decimal is at the end. Hopefully you said that. You're probably used to me saying that. So I have 4,213. My decimal's at the end. I'm dividing. My answer is going to be smaller because I'm dividing by a whole. My exponent tells me how many times to move my decimal. My symbol tells me I'm going to the left. 1, 2, 3. So my new answer is 4 and 213 thousandths. Okay, we're going to do one more since I have the room. Let's do 296. And we're going to divide by 10 to the second power. When I have a whole number, my decimal is at the end. I'm going to move it 2 times to the left. 1, 2. So my new answer is 2 and 96 hundredths. So this is a review. We just learned how to multiply and divide by powers of 10. This should definitely help you on your practice problems. Remember, if you have any questions, you can always text me. You can email. You can also just use my name, Aislinn.Van You can also dojo message me on Class Dojo if you have the app or online. And I will have all of these with me from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. and then again from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. So if it's within those times, I will get back to you as soon as possible, as long as I'm not helping another scholar. And if you ever have any questions, that's how you can get a hold of me. I hope you guys